Hi, I'm Justin Latimer, and I'm playing Medieval 2 Total War. I'm going to show you a battle replay from an online match I played recently. This one was at the Swiss Alps. I was playing as Russia against France. Now I had planned on using the terrain here at Swiss Alps for my advantage, so I brought a bunch of missile troops with me. I have a bombard, I have Cossack musketeers, Devor archers, and I have Devor cavalry up here, who are very competent both hand-to-hand and in ranged combat. I also have boyar sons, who are very good with their javelin. Their javelins do damage against armor, so they're a very effective killer against well-armed troops. Spearmen, roughly analogous to armored sergeants from the mainland. Berdach axemen. And Devor archers. Devor archers are good both with their bows and their axes. They are a very flexible infantry unit. Lots of repositioning right now. If your opponent's still setting up his formation, it doesn't really matter. Sometimes you work to set up your formation real fast and find out your opponent's taking up a bunch of time. Have yourself to blame if your formation isn't good when you start. I discovered really early on that one of his units was stranded far away from the other units, so I sent in my cavalry. And these men are just gonna tear this unit apart. It's a unit of pike militia too, so it's particularly vulnerable to missiles. They're just going to be torn apart just by my missile fire. Pike units are especially vulnerable to missiles. This is a really bad pike unit, so it's even more so. They're vulnerable to the missiles just because their trick with pikemen is to defend a position and not move a whole lot. But these guys don't really have a lot of armor. And so they got tore apart. But it's a small victory and the battle is far from over. So, now to plan the next phase of the attack, we have to move troops up this way. I plan on taking this small little hill here opposed to the mountain. It's going to require a lot of tactical maneuvering because the enemy formation up here is really good. He has lots of pikemen. He also has Bulgare, chivalric knights, arquebusiers, which are now able to shoot at my troops. I marched in my boyar sons right away. Basically as a diversion, I just wanted them to take down some of the pikemen. The French player has a ton of noble knights, and he tries to counter. But something interesting happens. He hits the back of his pikemen and they won't let them through. And then some of them who do get through end up getting killed by their own pikes. Which isn't really the opponent's fault. It's the fault of a glitch in the game. But the enemy has now lost some pikemen and some knights. I've been able to march my infantry up the hill farther. They have done good in their campaign at harassing the enemy. So I pulled them back so I could rethink my strategy. The infantry are getting a lot closer. And I've actually been able to get my cannon out here. It's just a bombard, but it will be useful. Especially because the opponent doesn't have any artillery. If the opponent had artillery, he would have been able to bombard me the whole way up this advance. My Cossack musketeers ended up being very useful.
We need to act.
My spearmen here are now within range of the arquebusiers. So I'm gonna have to pick fast. I can't just sit here and let my men get shot. So I mark my musketeers forward. One of the advantages of muskets is they have much longer range than arquebuses. So I'll be able to shoot up into this formation from a considerable distance. And they're able to shoot up into there through most of the battle. But I can't just let them stay there either. I have to have the infantry go up. I brought spears because I think it's good to have a good, strong, sturdy defensive infantry unit, which they are, but they're not really good for offense, and any type of offense. Spearmen are particularly vulnerable to any other type of infantry. But that's also why I have my axemen. I figured in the event the opponent had a lot of defensive infantry, I'd be able to use these guys to take it down. And not only do I have my infantry advancing, but I also have my cavalry advancing. The highly useful and flexible Devore. And they're able to shoot up into these noble knights up here and the enemy infantry. I sent my Berdach axemen to attack these chivalric knights. I figured because I don't have a lot of infantry like that, I should probably try to get rid of his. Over here, the cavalry, my Devore, have joined into a melee with the noble knights. I wasn't too worried about them because Devore are very competent in hand-to-hand, but the noble knights are a little bit better. So I sent my general into this fight. My spearmen are going to attack these pikemen here. They get some initial success. The Berdach axemen routed. I also sent my boyar sons up here to attack his chivalric knights. They did a lot of damage, but routed when these Volgare attacked. My dismounted Devore are doing quite a bit of attrition damage with their bows. And their bows have very long range. The cavalry fight over here is pretty much a draw. My infantry, my spearmen did pretty well. against the dismounted noble knights because they have a slow rate of attack, and my spearmen have a much quicker rate of attack. My Boyar sons got back together for another charge, which I made against the arquebusiers, I think, which was really bad for that unit of arquebusiers. And they keep pushing on into these arquebusiers. Then they rout. These Beardatch Axemen are still fighting. They're fighting against chivalric knights and dismounted nobles. These guys join the fight. They do really well with their rate of attack, like I said. It's much higher than these guys. My Devore got hit over here, dismounted Devore. That was bad for them. These guys just keep shooting because I figured that's the best way they can serve the army at this point. My Boyar sons were able to protect my Cossack musketeers. I just killed the French general.
Lord be merciful, we have lost half of our men.
The Boyar sons here are protecting the Cossack musketeers. They're doing a pretty good job.
General shames us all. He flees battle.
My general just died.
Infamy will be his always.
The Boyar sons here, they're getting hit by pikemen, so they're just gonna run. I marched my Cossacks in because I figured maybe they'll be able to relieve them. Cossack musketeers are pretty decent in a melee fight. They have a decent stat. It's similar to a regular swordsman, but they have way. But that said, at this point I can't really do a whole lot.
Changes in the course of battle, for defeat seems almost certain.
The cavalry battle over here went to the French, but it was a very bloody battle. My Devore here are fighting. They're doing pretty well, but they're gonna get killed. Victory seems... That's what the thing here says. These men were able to get off a few volleys, and then these guys get really close here. Readying the guns. Are we ready to shoot? They're getting really close. I don't think we're going to be able to. Oh, and what does the French character do? He has him go off over this way to fight the bombard. A curious decision considering the fact the bombard can't really do a whole lot. Not the crew. So do I get another shot off? No, they just stand there. And that's pretty much the end of this battle. I lose. But the men did a really good job.
Only intervention by the Almighty Lord or a military genius.
I say that like they're real. Very hardy. My bombard men here reformed. They're 6 men strong and they're not going to do a whole lot, but they feel pretty determined right now. I don't know why. Here. It's sort of impressive how slow they're dying, actually. They're pretty hardcore, though. He's gonna kick this guy. Yep, there we go.
We have been dealt a stinging defeat.
And so there's quite a bit of carnage all over here. You can see all this cavalry, mostly French. A lot of my cavalry and the French cavalry here. Lots of infantry on the map. That's curious. They never moved. But my opponent, he fought a good fight. He had a really good position. He was really polite throughout the match. Earlier, when his pike militia were isolated and I surrounded them, I actually apologized for that, and he told me, "Don't worry about it. I just forgot that." Good job to Camaro Clayton. And looking at the stats here, my general did pretty well. My Devore cavalry did well. The Boyar sons did really well. The spearmen were pretty mediocre. Bird Edge axemen got quite a few kills. And the dismounted Devore did very well. The Cossack musketeers did too. I think these stats they don't really reflect how useful they were. The Bombard got quite a few kills too. But the best unit of the day was the Boyar Sun cavalry. And that's the end of this battle. Thank you for watching. And I'll have more videos soon.